In this episode, we are going to be speaking about how you can strengthen your bond with the spirit world. It's difficult, isn't it? Because the spirit world, for a lot of you, feels so far out of reach. But by the end of this video, if you stick around to the very end, I'm going to be sharing with you some very important hacks that I've learned from the spirit world along my mediumship journey, which you can implement into your teachings. And guess what? Hey presto, we'll have you connected in no time. If you're new here, my name is Psychic Medium Jordan Coburn, and I can prove with evidence of the afterlife. I've helped thousands of people on this earth plane to once again contact their loved ones in spirit by the understandings of the teachings, and now it's your turn. Each and every one of you can become great mediums. In here at Help Heal Serve, we can give you the groundwork and the foundations to sculpt your own mediumship journey. Not to mention, we have the loving and supporting Help Heal Serve family. Without further ado, let's get into this video. What's the first thing that each and every one of you can do to gain and strengthen your connection to the spirit world? First of all, we'll speak a lot about how to contact the spirit world, don't we? We've got plenty of videos on this channel of loads of different things going into meditations. First of all, that's the quickest way. Dreams. Spirit world will come to each and every one of you in your dreams. But what I would like to do in this video is to strengthen you as a person so that we can forge that unique bond that we need with the spirit world. So coming away from the spirit side of things, let's just focus on you as a person. Where are you at currently now? What is it that is bringing you to spirit? Have you lost someone? Are you just wanting to experience what it's like to see the spirit world using clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, clairempathy, many different clair senses? Are you wanting to experience a little bit of energy? Well, if that's the case, then what we need to do is we need to take a look at what you are trying to aim for here. And we need to give you a notion that is going to serve you for strengthening your bond with the spirit world. Sorry to interrupt this video, but we'd like to say a big massive thank you to each and every one of you from the bottom of our hearts. For everyone who drops the like button, who leaves comments of Help Heal Serve, we notice it. But that's not all. We now have memberships in place on this channel for those of you who want to financially support the message. It is not an obligation, so don't feel that you are being pressured into doing so. But if you do want to, you will find the memberships on the subscribe button. And if you haven't subscribed, you won't see it. Why the hell haven't you subscribed? Members will get the Help Heal Serve logo in all of the comments that you leave on the channel. Without further ado, let's get back into the video. Each and every one of you, when you think of the spirit world, what is it that you actually think of? I would love to know down in the comments actually what comes to your mind when we mention the spirit world. Because I know the majority of you, when you think about the spirit world, you're going to be thinking of fluffy white clouds and you're going to be thinking about pearly white gates. And listen, first of all, sorry to absolutely decimate that illusion. That illusion is put there by mankind to ensnare fear on the populace, to make sure that if you're good, you're going to heaven, if you're bad, you're going to hell. There is no such thing. There is a conscious energy which each and every human being will return to in an energy sense. That being said, what is your idea of spirit? Because what we need to do is we need to tap into what your idea actually is and make it work for you. Because if you've clicked on this video, then clearly you are having issues strengthening your connection. What we need to do is we need to look at what the spirit world are to you. Are they a force that you would like to work with? And when I say force, I don't mean forces in terms of an army or, well, technically they are an army, but they're an invisible army, very different to mankind's notions. But what we need to do is we need to understand what it is about spirit that you are currently fearing. Because, yeah, hang on, I know there's a lot of you saying I don't fear spirit. But the reason why your connection isn't strengthening with the spirit world is because subconsciously you are keeping them afar. The spirit world can come into each and every one of your worlds and they can give you the tools, they can give you the teachings, they can give you the understandings, they can give you everything that you so need and desire for your mediumship development. After all, think about it. Why wouldn't the spirit world want you to become a medium? Listen, the spirit world want to actively work with each and every human being on this planet. And you'll see me shouting it from the rooftops. That's why I'm not a very liked little individual. Because I'm taking away the paywalls of mankind. I'm taking the ideologies away from mankind that aren't there to serve you. We are making this universal to the everyday person. So if you are somebody who is watching this video at this point and you have just stumbled across this video, know that we can help you to get connected. We can give you the tools, but you need to be honest with yourself. What is it that you are scared of with spirit? I'm going to tell a lot of you what I think that you are going to be scared of. First of all, I think there's going to be fear associated with it because you've had teachings of Hollywood. You've watched Conjuring. You've watched Annabelle. You've watched Paranormal Activity. You've watched Robert the Doll. You've watched Poltergeist. You've been brought up, and understand this when I say this, you have been brought up on entertaining content. And whilst I say content, a lot of it's movies. Technically, it's content. But what you've got to remember is those movies would not be entertaining, key in the word there, if you weren't scared. If you weren't scared by this film, then guess what? You would switch off. So the movie producers, the directors, have to make it scary. Irrespective to their personal false opinions on the matter, they can have a nice storyline and they'll have to make it scary. Or they might have a very flat storyline where nothing happens, and in a different aspect, it might be an action movie. They've got to make something happen to bring the action to the scenes. You get what I'm saying? To keep you hooked. A bit like Spirit. Each and every one of you will experience a little piece of spirit at some time in your life. And once you do, that is when the intrigue is sparked by spirit. That's one of the things that the spirit world will do for each and every one of you. It's kind of one of their little tricks. They'll implant intrigue in your mind. Whether that be through orchestrating something that will blow your mind, whether that be just working with you in a way that you know 100% that they are there. They will do something to spark the intrigue. Now, coming back to you as a person, I know a lot of you would have been educated by the before mentioned, where you've been educated by Hollywood. You've been educated by misleading understandings. You need to remember this. If you are coming into mediumship, you have to protect from poor understandings and bad teachings. You have to protect from poor understandings and bad teachings. Let that sink in. Let those words mean something to you. Because every time you feel scared in mediumship, every time you think you can't do something, say this out loud. You need to impregnate this into your mindset. This needs to be your core foundation. This needs to be your main ideology. This needs to be your model. This is what you are going to reform your entire being around. This logic is what is going to step you apart from many other practicing mediums. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because when you understand that and adopt that as the primary function, the basis of all of your humanistic operations, you will see very, very quick why it is you should never fear the spirit world. The spirit world aren't there to harm any one of you. They aren't there. Sorry, everyone. I cut my lip before I come on camera. It's really starting to know noise. I think I've bit it when I've been eating or something, probably. I'm always eating, to be fair. So, yeah, we've got the notions of mankind, which are going to implant fear in the forefronts of each and every one of your minds. Okay, that is going to scare you. What else can it be that could scare you from mediumship? Well, it could be that you don't want to fail. You don't want to fail as a human being. You don't want to fully commit into something if you feel that your loved ones aren't going to be committing back. Now, to any one of you who think that this is going to be the case, believe me when I say this, the spirit world, your loved ones, each and every aspect of the energy loves each and every one of you unconditionally. The spirit world don't keep things from you. The spirit world won't keep things from you. You are the one who is stopping the process of mediumship taking place. Mediumship at its foundations is simple. It's simplistic in nature, simple in design. Mankind get involved and intertwine their ideologies and notions into that little mix, and guess what? It becomes, it gets taken away from being universal for everyone to use, simplicity, and then guess what? You get egotistical individuals who ride that wave of profiteering from mankind's misery, and before you know it, none of you know how to do it. And you just don't want to try it because you see these individuals who are selling thousands of pounds courses and you just simply can't afford it. Now, I'm not speaking to you directly, but there's going to be many people, you've got to understand, many people can't afford these courses. And why is it that they shouldn't be able to contact their loved ones in spirit? That's why on this channel we are breaking all of these different myths. We are just slashing through all of the chaff, and we are getting direct, straight to the point. Each and every one of you can contact your loved ones in spirit. And if this is something that is stopping you because you don't want to try to contact your loved one just in case they don't contact you back, stop that. Listen, when I said mediumship is simple in its design, what you've got to understand is your ideology, your notions, your theories of how this is going to work have been diluted by the vocabulary of mankind. It's been tainted. So it's not going to be simple the way it should be. Yes, if you follow the teachings on this platform, it's going to become simple, but don't put yourself under pressure at this moment in time to just think that you can just connect, because that's the way that the world's going to work, isn't it? You're just going to put your intent and you're going to manifest that connection. No, you bloody hell not. And I know there's going to be loads of people on the internet who will tell you to tap your head, and they'll tell you to do these Hail Mary chakras, and they're going to tell you to do these humming and hawing. Listen, manifestation comes from your intent. If you want something to happen, you can try to aim for that. Is your end goal. You cannot manifest something. It doesn't work like that. We are living in the physical realm. You can't just manifest the connection with the spirit world to take place, because by that you are taking it away from just being intent, which is all you need. That is the key to the connection. You are taking it away from that, and you are forcing the process. When you force the process of mediumship, guess what happens, folks? It doesn't work, and it will never work. It's not designed to work like that. It's got to be simple. That's the way that it's designed to be. So if you are somebody who is scared to try to connect to your loved one because you just think that, what if they don't get back in touch? Maybe let's just say, for argument's sake, you've got a loved one and you left the physical realm on bad terms with yourself. And you may be wanting that connection, and you might think they don't want the connection. And this is another reason why you don't want, because you don't want to be the one with egg on your face once again. You've got to remember, the individual that you knew in this earth plane is very different in spirit. Very different. All of the humanistic traits that you knew about them as a person, whilst they lived their earthly existence, ceases to exist. It's not in spirit. Yes, you will still communicate with them, and yes, they will share the fond memories, and yes, they will. But don't be deluded and think that if they had, narcissistic traits, they had anger issues, they had ailments, they had many different things within the materialistic, that they still have them now in energy, because they don't. And why is that, you might be asking? Well, think about this realistically. It's for the exact same reason why there is no such thing as evil in the spirit world. Human beings liken the spirit world to the world that we live in, and because we have people who are good, choose to be good, and we have people who choose to be bad. Yes, I said choose, because there is no demonic entities making them be bad. They are literally choosing to be evil human beings. No, it's not because they've come to the planet and they've chosen to do that. No, it's not because they've come to the planet and they've been pre-programmed by demons themselves to be evil. It's simple. There's two things that can happen. They can choose to be evil, or their body, their physical structure will break down, which will in turn create them to make bad decisions. It could be a breakdown within their brain cognitivity. It could be many different forms of, traits within the human mind where you can have disruptions. So them are the only two things that can make you evil. There is no spirits coming in your body, and there is no possessions coming in your body. There is not one spirit, there is not one energy that is taking over human beings and making them evil. Human beings do a good enough job themselves. We don't need to intervene in that. Human beings are there as a species to grow and the spirit to grow, but look what they do. I've got to stop sometimes because spirits come through very passionate, and what I don't want to do is to make it very to get it too passionate there, because they were about to go on to one there. So I'm just trying to calm everything down a little bit. But I think I share the frustrations with the spirit world because mankind get given an opportunity. Mankind get given an opportunity to walk the walk, talk the talk, and to live their lives. Yet the spirit world and the realms get actively dragged into it. They get dragged into it because mankind's inability to just live, rather than wanting what is best for them, and rather than wanting what is best for their life journey, They feel it is better to just do evil deeds and to blame the spirit world and the realms. And there are people on this planet who believe that. Unfortunately, these, I would say, vulnerable individuals, and they are vulnerable people because they fall a prey to mankind's notions of there being evil spirits. These individuals who believe that there are evil spirits on this earth plane have been conditioned by mankind. They have fallen victim to mankind's trickery. There is no such thing as evil. The humanistic plane is very different to the energy realm. And to any one of you who are thinking, well, actually, John, why would it be like that? It's very simple why it would be like that. We come here for this. We choose to come to this planet. We don't choose what we're going to do. We could choose to come to the planet. And when we come to this planet, we are living out our life journey. We can't do what we do on this plane, what we do in spirit. We can't. We don't have physical bodies, for God's sake. So we can't do any of the things that we do. So this is why the soul, when it comes to the planet, it refines. Again, one of the things, if this has been an issue to yourself, and I know I've come in pretty hard there, right? And we've mentioned a few different things, but know that if you are someone who believes that there are evil spirits, this is going to be a very difficult and bumpy road, because you are going to get people who are going to sell you theories and notions based on their knowledge gaps, based on their egotistical understandings, their narcissistic traits. They are going to want you and exploit you, the living daylights out of you. Why? Because that's what this is. You know, not everyone is like me. Not everyone wants to help you. Not everyone wants to give you the tools so that you can contact your loved ones in spirit. The majority of people, you go looking, they're all charging X amounts of pounds for courses. You're not getting it absolutely free on this content. And again, I've said it from the day one, my platform is always going to be free. I don't need to make money off this. I can make money in different ways. And again, you know, when it comes to the things that I do, a lot of, I get my pleasure. If I'm completely honest with each and every one of you, I get my pleasure out of helping you, which sounds a bit weird and a bit crazy because we've never ever met each other. However, my comfort and my time, my intent, my focus is to help you to be able to help yourself, to help you to stay clear of mankind's ideologies. And again, I don't get my notions, theories from textbooks of man. I don't need to follow mankind's teachings. I get my information direct from the spirit world, which each and every one of you can do once I have you connected. So we've spoken there about a few of the things that potentially are going to stop you. Now let's think about some of the things that you can do if you are wanting to strengthen and really forge that unique bond that you so need and desire with the spirit world. My first suggestion to each and every one of you is to embrace the spirit world and the realms. A lot of you are going to go, well, actually, John, I don't want to be involved with the realms. Not a problem. If you don't want to, then you don't do that. I'm not. But one thing that I would say is by having an openness to the spirit world and the realms and actively working with both, it is going to give you additional teachings. You know, it's one of those things. It's like, for example, Spirit are explaining this to us. It's like sort of using a motor vehicle. It always gives us motor vehicles. You could go for, you know, to get from A to B, you could drive a car. However, when you go to do your driving test, this would be working with spirit. So you go, you do your lessons, you then pass your test, you're driving a car. However, at the same time, what we could be doing is we could be going to learn how to drive the car and a motorbike at the same time. We now have two potential modes of transport. These two modes of transport are going to benefit us in very different ways. For example, if it's a hot day and you want to go out cruising, then you're going to jump on your motorbike, aren't you? If it's a very cold day and it's snowing and it's raining and it's muggy and it's horrible, you're going to go in your car, aren't you? So there's a clear comparison for each and every one of you why I recommend you all to embrace the spirit world and the realm. It's all right having one direct route. It's all right having one. But the understandings that you're being given on this channel aren't the normal. Like, seriously. And by embracing the realms and the spirit world, I mean, I've had videos where my microphone just gets knocked. The second I mention spirit in the realms, and it's on my live streams, you'll see it. You can see that on this camera now. You can see that my mic is fixed. Like, there's nothing I can do around it to knock it. However, I've got videos where the spirit world and realms will just come and bang the microphone for us, just so you can all see that I'm working with them. And this is something that each and every one of you can do. And remember, I know there's going to be a lot of fear. A lot of you have fear. And why wouldn't you? Listen, you just watch me, right? And you see some of the things I do, and it probably freaks you out, let's be honest. But it's like, I use this analogy quite often, actually. And again, we're coming back to cause. A lot of the things that I do that look scary to each and every one of you, remember, I have the understandings. It's like you wouldn't get behind the wheel of a car without the driving lessons, would you? Otherwise, you would be in trouble pretty quick, because there's only one outcome. However, if you have the understandings you need, you can get behind the wheel of a car and you can drive very safely, I may add. And this is the same when it comes into mediumship. For strengthening your bond, you have to strengthen that connection with the spirit world in the realms. Again, realms are optional, but I would advise each and every one of you, you are being given a good understanding for a reason. Work with both the energies, and you will find very quick, in times when you are wanting paranormal activity or you are wanting to get information, when you are working with the realms and, you know, the spirit world in unison, then the energy is amplified. It's literally, it's magical, it's mental as well at the same time. But this is something that I would recommend for strengthening your connection. Either choose one or the other, or choose both. But you've got to choose. You can't just try and do this and be like a lost ship at night. You know, ships at sea, for a reason, have lighthouses that will guide them. Okay? Now, you need to be that lighthouse in this analogy. You need to be the one guiding your mediumship. You effectively are that ship lost at sea. However, you need to be also the lighthouse. You need to guide yourself in the direction that you need to be going, which was a pretty cool analogy, actually, Spirit. Thank you. But I hope you can see where I'm going with that. It's all right to want to be a medium, but then a lot of people want to become a medium, but they don't want to work with an energy. They don't care where the information comes from. They don't care who it is that they're working with. And I think it's very disrespectful, if I'm completely honest, because if one of you was sat with me, I would learn your name. If we were doing a one-to-one tutoring, I would say, okay, what's your name? And, you know, would be going through everything. I wouldn't just expect you to, you know, I wouldn't just not speak to you and expect you to do all of the work. So why is it that human beings feel that it's all right to just ask spirit world for information, but then ask nothing about themselves? This is where a lot of mediums get very confused, because they forget that whilst they are the medium and whilst they are the conduit, they also have a bigger part to play. They have to be the middle person, which is the conduit, yes, I know, but they need to be that central person. They need to be receiving that information, articulating that information, but also ready to receive any additional. A lot of people will fall victim to this, and you see them coming into mediumship and they don't have a clue what they're doing, and I feel so sorry for them, because if they had have only been given the understandings, they would know exactly what to do. But you'll see these individuals coming in and they don't have a clue what energy is, they don't know what spirit world are, they don't know what ghosts are, or from what they're taught. I mean, I don't use the word ghost, I'm just using it now to back up to each and every one of you is probably what you will call them ghosts. I call them spirits, because I know that there's energy and there's also intelligence. But yeah, for strengthening your connection, you really need to understand the spirit world and the realms. And if you don't understand them on a personal level, you need to pick one. It's no good just going into it blindly and not choosing a side. And when I say a side, I don't mean you're choosing the light or the dark. It's nothing like that at all. But just by you mentally choosing spirit or the realms or both, you are placing that intent. You are then ready to receive that information from the energy. whether that be through the realms, whether that be through spirit. And remember, as a human being, it's not on your terms. I say it so many times, like sometimes, I think, again, right, like to a lot of you, I work closely with spirit, closely. And a lot of you will see that from all of the things that I do. And I work closely with the realms. And I think there's a lot of people on this earth plane who, like, I'll go into a building, right, and it's like the last paranormal investigation I done. From the second I stepped into that building, the spirits were just wanting to communicate straight away. Seriously, like, honestly, there was literally, I was drained by the time I left that building. And the evidence that I captured, it just kept flowed. And why did it flow? It's not because I'm special. It's not because I've got the best of equipment. It's very, very simple, because I have a good, strong connection to the spirit world. And I think a lot of people look at what I do and you'll think, well, actually, hang on, Jordan works with the spirit world and he works with the realms. I want to do that. And you'll go into a location and you'll be like, okay, I'm going to call upon the realms to come forward and to do something for me. And nothing happens. And then automatically you think, oh, why is it not working? Remember, it's not on your terms. The spirit world and realms will work with you when the time is right. It's a two-way commitment. To any one of you who are wanting to strengthen your bond with either the realms or the spirit world, what I would recommend you to do is to first of all make that conscious decision of which energy you want to work alongside of. For those of you who don't know, there are 7 realms in total, okay? Spirit being realm 1. Then we are going to go to the additional 6 realms. Spirit are at the core of the onion. If you think of an onion, at the very core, you have spirit. Then as we peel away those onion layers, we have very different frequencies, very different energies. They have not walked this earth plane before. That being said, you know, a lot of you call them demons. But the problem is what you've got to understand is that title alone is there to incite fear into your mind, into the rest of mankind. They're not there to harm you. They don't need to harm you. Same with the spirit world. The spirit world will give you information. They will give you guidance, clarity, purpose. Same with the realms. Exactly the same. However, it's just kind of, so the way that I describe the realms is, it's like in the humanistic world to which we live, it's like an adult. So for the spirit world are like the adults. Very stern, very organized, very yes or no, you can't do that, you can't do that, very disciplined. When we come to the realms are a lot more playful. They are like the children in the materialistic world. They are absolutely awesome. And that's why when I'm doing my paranormal investigations, you'll see the evidence coming through from spirit and from the realms. This is something that each and every one of you can gain. Coming back to strengthening your connection, what you should do is, and what I would recommend you to do, is to go into a meditation and place your intent. This should span for at least 5 meditations. Now, you don't have to do it all in one sitting. Like, I don't mean do one meditation and another meditation straight after. What I mean is break them out. If you're in mediumship and you want to become a psychic medium, you want to become a paranormal investigator, you want to become a psychic, you want to become a tarot reader, you want to work with energy, all of these different things, you have to realize you need to start putting time in. It's all right having the wants, needs and desires to do this, but it's like me, you know, for example, it's like me wanting to be a brain surgeon. If I wanted to be that brain surgeon, which I would never be, but if I wanted to be one, then you would find that I'd have to go to college courses. I would have to do lots of different things in the materialistic. I can't just say I want to be one and manifest that I want to be one. If that was the case, why is it, right? To anyone who says, no, Jordan, you can't manifest things. Why is it that you don't have any of these practicing doctors who don't need qualifications, who don't need anything of the sort? Because you can't its manifestation is kind of a lazy way of you working hard. A lot of people will say manifestation, you've got to think it, you've got to pray it, you've got to welcome it from the universe. Get the hell out. What on earth are you going on about? Listen, if you want something in this life, you have to work hard to take it. It's as simple as that. It's not getting sugar-coated on this channel. There are far too many channels, there are far too many people selling you these notions which are, you know, the damaging to you as a person on a personal level, because rather than you putting in the hard work, putting in that effort, putting in that determination and willpower and making that your primary focus, We are watching a video about tapping your forehead and humming and hawing and manifesting it by putting drips of salt in water. What the bloody hell, man? Spirit showed us this video last night and I was howling. So were they. And that's one of the things that you've got to be aware of. Stay away from that sort of notion. Again, when we go into a meditation, place your intent. Ask the energy to come forward to you. Release any expectations. Release and relinquish the need for you to have control in those moments. I would recommend you to do about a 30-minute sitting. That 30-minute is going to give spirit the time to come forward. It's going to give them time to do whatever they need to do, to show you whatever they need to show you. Again, if you are asking for the spirit world and the realms, before you go into that meditation, just ask for one or the other. Don't ask for both at the same time. It's going to get... Sorry, the energy got quite intense there. It's going to get quite hard for you to kind of gauge which is which energy. Whilst the realms is a very different energy, until you've fully developed and you've fully, your clear senses are fully attuned to that energy, to you, it's going to be very subtle. When you get, your clear senses very refined, it becomes instantaneous. You just know instantly who you are working with. When you go into a meditation, what are you going to actually expect, and what are some of the things? Now, when I say expect, I don't mean you to go into a meditation and wait for this magical moment to happen. Get out of your minds that it's magical. Yes, you are going to have meditations that are going to be mental, crazy, and even absolutely amazing. However, do not set your expectations for this. Some of the things that you can expect to happen during a meditation is going to be you are going to see the realms. When you see the realms, if you are working with the realms, it can be very scary the first time. And when I say that, it's because a lot of the depictions at mankind don't even do it half the justice to what they actually look like. Now, let's just backtrack a second there, because I've explained to you what you may see when you go looking for the realms. Notice how I said when you go looking for the realms. They won't come looking for you. When you go looking for the realms, the reason why in the first instance they will look exceptionally different to anything that you've ever seen is getting back to the first point that I mentioned of this video. They have never walked this earth before. They do not have physical forms. They do not have bodies. They don't have bones. They don't, everything that you've come to imagine the normality of human beings, that's blown out of the water because they don't. And not to scare any of you, but they look quite creepy. And I love it. I love it. I love how they look. I love how they portray. But why do they look in the way that they do? Red eyes, black bodies, all of this. Your imagination. Your imagination is going to cloak how you feel and you think the realms will look. It's not because they actually look like that. It's because your understandings will allow you to see them in whatever light. A lot of you will see black elongated figures with big claws and red eyes, and that's not because that's how they actually look. That's because you are picking up on that energy through your extrasensory perceptions, and your extrasensory perceptions don't understand what the energy is. So it's kind of foreign to the human form. So because it's foreign, it doesn't have any sort of knowledge bank. It doesn't have any visual representations to associate to it. So instead of making it look like a human, it makes it just look like whatever you believe it would look like, that energy. If you go looking for spirit and you place your intent and you start working with spirit, then a lot of the time you will see faces, you will hear voices, you will see loved ones. You will, again, a lot of people will tell you that that's because that's what you want to happen. The problem is with that is what a lot of these people who've got these opinions say. They fail to acknowledge or accept the evidence that gets brought forward in these readings. For example, if you go into a meditation and you are during that meditation, you practice mediumship. If you practice mediumship and in that meditation a loved one comes to you and tells you, for example, a password to a computer that you've never been on before, but you've been trying to get on because it's got all of their saved data and you need to do something with that. Bit of an example there. If that's the case, then how can you argue with that? Again, you get a lot of skeptical-minded people, and you do need skeptics. You need people on this earth plane who have their own notions, their own theories, their own ideologies. I love it. That's what I'm all for. However, you can't argue with evidence. People from a scientific background, people who from a methodical thinking, people who are analytical in every sense. Good on you. But explain how I can tell you more about your life now, and I can tell you more about your loved ones in the afterlife. I can tell you everything you need to know. Explain that one. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Because again, and then you get the people who say, well, these are just frauds. No, there are some people who are frauds. I can speak from experience, and I can also speak by evidence. I let my work speak for itself. My actions speak louder than words. So in terms of scammery and all of this sort of thing, it's one of those things that I felt it was relevant mentioning there, because there's going to be a lot of you who are going to find very, very quick when you become mediums. It's something that you need to start acknowledging. It's something that you need to be prepared for. Because again, mediumship is just about preparing you ready for the next stage of your spiritual evolution, preparing you for the next steps that you undoubtedly are going to be taking with the spirit world. Another way that you can connect with spirit is going to be by, spending time in nature. Spending that time in nature is a good one, because we all need a little bit of downtime. We all need a haven in which we can go and relax. Sometimes meditations, especially if you've got a little ADHD brain like myself, meditations aren't the best option. And I'll tell you the reason why, because it requires you to detach, to sit still, to just kind of go with it. Some people can't do that. So the next best thing would be to go outdoors. Spend some time outdoors. If you've got a local park, you've got a local nature reserve, if you've got a beach, we've got beaches in the United Kingdom where we can just walk along the beach. There's many different ways, but don't get caught up in this grounding. I'm not saying that you need to go and ground yourself. Listen, people tell you to ground, tell them to go and walk a different way, because you do not need to ground. You are a human being. You don't need to do anything. All of these humanistic processes that get welcomed into your world and welcomed in your teachings come from individuals who have knowledge gaps. You don't need to ground. It's simple. It's an instant mind shift. That's as quick as it is. That's as quick as it needs to be. You don't need to start introducing different things. One thing that I'm going to mention as well is shadow work. I've heard this terminology thrown around like it's something special. Listen, shadow work is working on yourself. Take away the spiritual elements. Take away the mystique. That is the reason why people don't understand it. It's not shadow work. I had this person who come into me comments, right? And they had said to me, says, oh yeah, I've been doing shadow work. And that's the reason why now the spirit world and demons won't ever come to me. And I thought, first of all, who the hell do you think you are? Straight away on the defensive, because they're my family. And I thought, the second thing, what are you going on about? Shadow work. And they explained it. I said, so you've been working on yourself? No, I've been doing shadow work. I said, no, you've been working on yourself. You've been bringing correcting some of the things that you don't like about yourself. And they couldn't comprehend it, because they had been conditioned by man to believe it was something special. It's not. You are simply working on yourself. And I would advise each and every one of you, if you are wanting to become a medium, keep it basic. Keep it simple. Not because you have a simple mind, or I'm saying you are just have to, because of what I'm saying is basic and simple is what is going to allow you to connect. You follow any of these other mankind's teachings, and what you're going to find is very, very quick, very, very in your development is it's going to cost you a fortune, and also you're going to get so frustrated. I mean, even with my teachings, you're going to get frustrated. But what you've got to understand is there are, situations where you'll get frustrated, where it is the understandings are going to be working for you, and you'll still get frustrated, but that's part of the journey. Or you are going to get frustrated because the understandings aren't working for you, which is going to be the majority of the channels And this is where you are going to be constantly stuck in that churning cycle of frustration. We don't want that. You can't spiritually grow like that, and you can't be the best version of yourself if you are being suppressed. So we've mentioned there about contacting the spirit world. We've mentioned there about contacting the realms for any of you who want to contact them. Another thing for strengthening your connection to the spirit world or to the realms would be to ask questions. Ask what it is that you feel they want you to know. So when you go into meditation, have fun with it. A lot of people believe that when you go into meditation, you ask a question in your mind, that's the end of the meditation. Well, it's not. It's not. You can go into a meditation and place your intent again. You can get information. You can use your clear senses. You can get all of that information. And I would actively encourage you I wouldn't start doing this at the very, very beginning of your meditations. I would wait till you've done at least 5. Once you've done at least 5 meditations, then you should be quite comfortable with working on your breaths. You should be quite comfortable with dropping into a meditative state. Once you are comfortable with all of the before mentioned, then what we can start to do is start to have fun with the meditations. Start to ask questions. Start to ask what they would like you to call them. A lot of people get caught up on this, and I think we might as well mention it actually. A lot of you are going to be so caught up on what your spirit guides are called, what your spirit guides look like. The problem is with that is whilst yes, it's good to know this information, this comes later on in your development. For each and every one of you who are beginners coming into mediumship, forget about that. Focus on what's necessary, the connection. Forget about everything else that's irrelevant. The spirit world don't need you to befriend them. They're already your best friend, right? So they don't need you to try and be their friend. They already know what your intent is, what you need from them, and how they can help you. So the best thing that you can do is to use your time effectively, efficiently. What we are going to do is, we are very, very simply, when we go into that meditation, we are going to start asking the questions once you are developed further along in your mediumship. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where a lot of you are going to become mediums. Whether you believe in it or not, we believe in it and I believe in it. But to become a medium, it's not a walk in the park. It's not straightforward. It's not what you've been led to believe. And I think that's one thing that I must stress to every one of you. Strengthening your connection and strengthening the bond comes from you. It comes from the hard work. It comes from the effort that you put in with the spirit world. It comes from your commitment, your determination, your willpower and wants and needs to succeed in mediumship. It's not something you can buy. It's certainly not something that's going to happen overnight. And it's certainly not something that's going to happen if you just sit back and be lazy. This is something that is going to actively take you time. It's going to take you, a lot of you, again, coming back to time as well, there's going to be a lot of you who will say, well, actually, John, I don't have the time. Well, if you don't have the time, then the problem is with that is you don't have time for yourself. And if you don't have time for yourself, then how on earth can you expect mediumship to work for you? Because I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, it isn't going to work for you. You might use, at some point, some of your clear senses. You might use some of your extrasensory perceptions. But if you think that you are going to become a medium by not putting any effort in or any hard work, or any commitment, then unfortunately, it's not going to be a straightforward ride for you. It's the thing is with mediumship, right? For example, a college course. Let's just say this, a typical example, college course. A college course, you go to college, a lot of the things that you're going to be learning at college, you're probably familiar with anyway, because the things and items from the materialistic. You're then going to start learning these things. You then have books to back you up. You then have teachers to help you, to aid you. And whilst, yes, you have people like myself who will help you, the point that I'm trying to make is for a lot of you, when it comes to mediumship is like an evolving beast in every aspect imaginable. It will eat you up and churn and spit you out if you don't continuously grow. You'll see a lot of people who come in mediumship and they don't put the time, they don't put the commitment in, but then they go on to a platform and they'll start teaching. They'll start telling people that this, they'll start telling people that. And the problem is to anyone who's educated, to anyone who can see and works with the spirit world on a personal level, you can see straight through them. Straight through them. But there's a lot of mankind who can't yet see through them. And this is one thing that you've got to take note of. You need to put time in. You don't want to be the person that I've just mentioned. You don't want to be that individual who just takes a run and just guesses everything and tries to wing it. The problem is the person who guesses and the person who wings it at some point is going to come a cropper. And unfortunately, that's going to be the case in every scenario. Every scenario. The spirit world are very wise. They are very knowledgeable. They don't like scammery taking place. But the people who are scamming, unfortunately, if you are going to allow them to scam you, then what do you expect the spirit world to do? Like, seriously, if you are going to, rather than connecting to the spirit world on a personal level and learning for yourself, if you are more than happy to just throw your money at random people on the internet that you've never met before and you've never seen, then bigger fool you. Like, seriously, I stick up for the spirit world, yeah, you know. The emphasis is on them to put this right. At the end of the day, it's yous who need to put it right. Yous are the ones who need to stop spending money. Yous are the ones who need to start learning this for yourself. There's no excuse now. You've got our channel. You've found us for a reason. So yeah, I think we've went over everything for strengthening your connection. We've went in about the meditations. If you want to learn how to do meditations, we do have a full meditation video on the channel. Yeah, I think we're going to end it there. So if you did like this video, remember to check out the videos pinned at the top left and right. If you do have any questions or you think I didn't answer something, let me know down in the comments section. And until the next time, bye-bye for now.